Do not fear them. Do not fear any of them. On the 20th of November 2003, James Ignatius O'Rourke McMahon was elected councillor for the Failsworth East Ward of Oldham. Deeply ambitious, he ruthlessly rose to power, and by 2011, he was already leader of the council. In 2015, exploiting a Labour Party loophole, he became MP for Oldham West and Royton. If only the people of the town knew then what they now know. Do not fear them. Do not fear any of them.
Very, very good evening. Wednesday the 10th of April 2024. Eid Mubarak to all of you who celebrate, and those of you who don't, you should be nibbling on samosas regardless. You should be nibbling on samosas regardless. Eid is one of those sort of days where you just knock on a stranger's front door. Anyone who remotely looks Muslim, knock on the front door, they'll invite you in and you can nibble on some samosas. And truth be told, that's pretty much what I've been doing most of today. Knocking on the doors of, we don't really knock on doors, if I'm honest with you, just walking. But walking into the homes of my friends and nibbling on samosas. And as my friend Oldham, who's with me today, sent me a message, apparently last week was National Samosa Week. Who'd ever heard of such a thing? What a great idea it is. National Samosa Week. So it was National Samosa Week. And do you know what crossed my mind? I was thinking, we should get the council to put up a golden green sort of samosa on the Civic Centre to celebrate National Samosa Day. So I put this transmission out free to air. It is Eid. It is Wednesday. I couldn't do Sunday. I just ran out of time, if I'm honest with you. Completely ran out of time. We know we're... those of you who follow me know this time of year I don't particularly like, because it's late night meetings, trying to get candidates sorted, trying to get people over the line. A lot of work doing leaflets for various candidates from a whole host of parties and non-parties. So I try my best, and thank you, Linya, the latest of these super chats from some of my regulars, so thank you very, very much. Those of you watching free to air, if you take value in this work, there is something pinned at the top said, buy me a samosa. It'll cost you £2 if you'd like to buy me a samosa. And much to the angst of those people who have been desperate for me to shut down over the last 5 years, it is through your goodwill that I am still here. The samosas and the 75 pence a week subscription, and some of you pay me substantially more and support me directly, so I'm very, very grateful, is actually what keeps these transmissions running and gives the people of the town an insight into the politics of the town and a mechanism through which they can be educated and hold to account those in power, and people wider from across the country and increasingly internationally as well, who are looking on in Oldham, hoping and supporting us, and most definitely hoping that we can get this over the line. And what I mean by getting this over the line, so there's no ambiguity. I did not join this journey last year. I did not jump on anyone's bandwagon. I sacrificed so much starting over 5 years ago now, and we want a public inquiry. We want a public inquiry into the cover-up of the grooming and gang rape of our town's children, because it was covered up and it remains being covered up, and we want to know who is responsible for the cover-up, who failed our children, and we want these people held to account. Now, from the evidence I've been releasing, it is very clear that powerful politicians, police officers, members of the press and council officers are all complicit, all involved in a cover-up. And those of you who follow the Royal Mail scandal, well, this scandal is actually far worse. And to demonstrate how it is far worse, I invite all of you to my trial. I have been on police bail for the best part of 3 years, arrested countless times, all on trumped up charges. Some didn't even make it to charges, dragged out my house in the middle of the middle of the night, first thing in the morning, dawn raids. I don't know how many police officers. And I invite one of the cases made it to trial. I can't detail the case itself. Those of you who followed my work know all about it. I invite you all to Manchester Magistrates Court on Thursday the 2nd and Friday the 3rd. If you want to see me testify, please attend on the Friday and you will have so much fun. You will have so much fun. That judge will not know what's hit her. Because I am not one to be intimidated. I am not one to back down. And as the last 5 years have demonstrated, I am more than capable of holding my own. Now, the trial isn't just me on trial. I believe every one of us is on trial. So please do attend Thursday the 2nd, maybe after you voted, and Friday the 3rd. Sorry, what have I not done, Lynn? If I put that up, oh, you want this raising? Sorry, there you go. Hope that's better for you, Lynn. Okay. There was a Sunday. Is it last Sunday? Sunday before? I couldn't do. It was the Monday. Easter Monday. It was Easter Monday. I couldn't do. And I put up a reason on Telegram. And I got a couple of narky messages as though I'm here for people's entertainment. I kept the real reason why I couldn't do from all of you. And that was because I was on my way to see my friend Warren Bates, who'd been taken into hospital. I'd spoken to his wife the night before, and he had been given days to live. So I decided to go and spend time with my friend at his bedside. I managed to see him a couple of times before he died, and the truth is, none of us would be here if it had not been for Warren. I have seen so many people jump on this bandwagon and take responsibility and try and take credit. They're all chances, every one of them. The person who took credit, or who should have took credit and never did, was former councillor Warren Bates, member of 5 parties, who told me I know nothing. And I agree with him. When I started this journey, I knew nothing. Because I am a product of the system. I am trained by those who are trying now to shut me down. I am an advocate of our country. I'm a defender of our democracy. And I have 20 years and more of public service. And I was completely bemused when 5 years ago, September, first day my daughter started school, I dropped her off for her first day of school and drove to Failsworth to meet for the very first time Warren Bates. Sat me on his sofa, offered me beer, the choice of beer or water, and pulled out a whole host of documents from an old, I think it was an old Aldi bag. I couldn't believe what I was put in front of me. And that's where our journey began. It is Warren Bates who is responsible for exposing the cover-up of the grooming and gang rape of our town's children. Without his efforts, without his work, we would be nowhere, this town would be nowhere, there would be no opposition. So my heartfelt condolences to Joan and the family. He genuinely was one of a kind. There will be no one like him. There will be no one like him. And one of his last words to me, with his thumbs up like this, well, actually, yeah, left hand thumbs up, was, "We're not going away. Are we, Raja? We're not going away." So no, we are not going away, Warren. We'll see this through, and we will deliver justice for every one of us in this town. This was the Costa Gate, which was epic. Of course, it was the malicious blogger and proven liar, Neil Willaboobies, who had reported me to the Attorney General's office. I hear Willaboobies is back attacking others now. Dave Arnott's on his hit list. I'm not going to get involved in any of that nonsense. What I know is I've met Dave. I've come across his lovely wife. Nah. His account was hacked, and if I didn't know any better, no, not only was his account hacked, what I do know based upon what I've seen is that I believe it was malicious, it was intentional, it was coordinated. No different to what happened with the firebombing of AROOJ Shah's car. Unless there are any of you left who believe it was anything other than a setup. Who blew up your car, AROOJ? Greater Manchester Police, why have you not arrested anyone? Charged anyone? Who blew up the leader of Oldham Council's car? Well, I believe it's the very same people that hacked Dave Arnott's Twitter account. Indeed. I don't know what's wrong with that. There you go. So, Warren was meant to stand in Chadderton Central. Warren was meant to stand in Chadderton Central. And yeah, I believe that, Lynn. Remember Robert Barnes? His career completely destroyed. Had to leave the town. Never charged. Was he Greater Manchester Police? In this town, the Greater Manchester Police work hand in glove with the politicians to politically target campaigners, social justice campaigners such as ourselves. Those who dare speak out. Those like Warren Bates, those like Dave Arnott, those like Robert Barnes. I have no doubt about that whatsoever. That's my experience. Who blew up your car, Shah? Who blew up your car, Shah? Warren was meant to stand for me in Chadderton Central. It was to target Elaine Taylor. Last year, Warren stood in Chadderton South, got 550, 600 votes. Amazing. He was going to stand in Chadderton Central. Even on his deathbed, he was asking for the forms. Peter Brown will be standing in his stead. Peter Brown will be standing in his stead. I will get his leaflet together over the next couple of days and send it off to the printers. We've done very well with the crowdfunder for the leaflets. I'll get to that later. We need to defeat Elaine Taylor. She's top of our hit list. She's the most senior councillor up for re-election. So, what are our themes in Chadderton Central? You ready? To ban HMOs across Chadderton. So we're going to propose that we're banning HMOs across Chadderton. We want localised budgets. Lots of Chadderton don't trash Oldham, because people are capable of keeping their own back alleys tidy. They don't dump where they live. So we want the fair share of our money for Chadderton people to use as they see fit. And the best one? We want to evict James Ignatius O'Rourke McMahon from Chadderton Town Hall. We want to evict the samosa nibbler and his entourage and make sure Chadderton Town Hall becomes a community facility accessible to the members of the public of Chadderton. That's right, that's our headline policy. Evict James Ignatius O'Rourke McMahon, reclaim our 100 grand toilet. Evict James Ignatius O'Rourke McMahon from Chadderton Town Hall. You like that, Lynn? He should never have moved in there. It's a civic building. An MP should not operate out of a civic building. He treats it like his palace. We want it back. We want our town hall back. James Ignatius O'Rourke McMahon, our campaign is to evict you from Chadderton Town Hall. I want to see mums and tots groups. I want to see elderly people doing sewing classes. I want to see ESOL classes. I don't care. You can put Arabic classes on for all I care. But I want to see that building used by the community, for the community, because it's funded by the very community. Those 100 grand toilets need to be used by ordinary folk like you and I. Of course, we've got the cover-up of the grooming and gang rape. That goes without question. And the need for a public inquiry. But we are going to have a campaign calling for the eviction of James Ignatius O'Rourke McMahon from Chadderton Town Hall. Samosa cooking classes. Like it? Julia loves it. And Sue loves it. So that's what we're going to do. Moving on to business. My friend Maroof. Now, those of you who follow me on Twitter know that I tease Maroof. I've known Maroof since she was a teenager. He's a couple of years younger than me, but I've known him since she was a teenager. He's one of Mr. P's, Moyev's best mates. He was on the phone to me, I think Sunday morning. On a group chat, Moyev dialed me in with him. Poor lad was upset. He's quit the Labour Party. You know, he's been a member of the Labour Party for 20 years. Quit the Labour Party. He's the sort of bloke that, rain or shine, goes out delivering leaflets, stands in the wards where no one wants to stand because you've got no chance of winning. He's quit the Labour Party. And of course he's quit the Labour Party because of what happened a few days earlier. Are you ready for this? Are you ready for this? Let me get myself on the camera. The Labour Party took back Aftab Hussain to bolster the ranks. AROOJ Shah did it. I hear Louis Hamblett complained to the Labour Party of readmitting Aftab because Aftab had released a leaflet that the previous Labour Party leader, Amanda Chadderton, had reported to the police as a hate crime. It was homophobic, it was transgender, it was all, it was badly worded. Unfortunately, Louis, if you're watching this, you reported it to the wrong place, mate. You reported it to locally. You need to report it nationally. You need to report it to the National Labour Party, and then you need to tweet about it. And then I'll share that tweet, and I'll make sure people who have an audience also share that tweet for you. And then we'll see what Keir Starmer does. So that's what you need to do, Louis. You complained to the wrong place. So they took Aftab back to bolster the ranks. And they got it to 33 councillors moving into the election. And he also, in the last council meeting, adamant that, they'll be back and the numbers will be more. So there's a series of meetings, conversations, those late night meetings I talk about. That's what candidates from all the parties, or even their agents and supporters, including independents. Indeed. And 10 minutes before deadline, on the Friday, 10 minutes before deadline, Naila Ibrahim goes to the Civic Centre to hand in her papers, which Shoaib Akhtar. Naila Ibrahim, of course, is Councillor Naila Ibrahim, who's now councillor in Werneth after she was kicked out of St Mary's to make way for AROOJ SHAH. And Shoaib Akhtar, who's regularly targeted by Irish IMI for not clapping or supporting AROOJ SHAH enough, they rock up to the Civic Centre with just 10 minutes left before the deadline to hand in their papers, to hand in Naila's papers. Naila Ibrahim, Labour Party councillor. And what we needed to make sure was this, that the timing was such that the Labour had no chance to react or respond. That AROOJ SHAH had no chance to react or respond. And Naila's forms, filled in properly, in terms of the party they represent, didn't say Labour. It said independent. She stood as an independent. She'd submitted a paper standing as an independent, and she did it so late that no matter who sees it in the council, because they're not meant to share it, but the council's elections office is compromised, shall we say, which is why they went in just before. So Werneth, the sitting councillor, Labour councillor, is now standing as an independent, and Labour don't have a candidate there because he did it as late as she did it. News gets to AROOJ SHAH. She's on the phone to Shoaib. Have you seen what she's done? That effing blah blah blah. There'll be no samosas for her. Have you seen what she's done? Yeah, says Shoaib. I proposed her. You can get stuffed as well, AROOJ. I'm leaving too. In her anger, in her rage, she'd not stopped to see he'd proposed and seconded her. And Shoaib had proposed her. So like that, AROOJ SHAH's majority has gone down to just one councillor. She had 33 councillors, it's gone down to 31 now. And some people have got back to me and said, oh, it's opportunist, and Shoaib has done it because he was at risk of losing his seat. Shoaib finished first last year in Wearmouth. He's not up until 2027. There was no need for him to do this, other than the right reason to do this. And the right reasons are as follows. He has no confidence, and the Oldham Times and the Manchester Evening News only took a selection of his quote. He has no confidence in either the national leadership or the local leadership of the Labour Party. And what had gone on is this. Let me find it. AROOJ Shah had decided that this was a leaflet going out everywhere with her picture on the front with the Palestinian ambassador. She'd met the Palestinian ambassador via Andy Burnham in her role as equalities lead. It had nothing to do with what she was claiming. And as you can see here, a better picture. And they tried to portray themselves as pro-Palestinian. They were lying. The motion was a fib, and you can see all of this. Our calls for a ceasefire in Gaza. They'd done nothing like that. Oldham Labour made a decision to fly the borough's peace flag. Well, apparently that decision was because he didn't have an Israeli flag, was the official reason he gave. They even used the mayor's letter in the leaflet, and they shouldn't be using the mayor's letter in the leaflet because the mayor is politically neutral. So they're trying to lie in the community and promote Shah as this, next Nobel Prize nominee. The problem they had was Naila Ibrahim, right at the beginning of the conflict, she was flying out to Pakistan, had point blank distanced herself from Keir Starmer. And from her perspective, she says she was refusing to support war crimes. That was it. She never shouted, screamed, never went for attention. Shoaib Akhtar, after being contacted by members of his own ward, went to one of the marches in Oldham. Even though the Labour Party emailed everyone saying these are extremist marches and don't go. That's right, the Labour Party, long before the Conservatives did anything, the Labour Party privately emailed. I've got a copy of the email. If any of you want it, I'll put it up. So their position was clear, and what they said was and this is Medlock Vale for instance, in Wearmouth Labour, they wanted included in their leaflets what their local councillors had been doing, what Naila Ibrahim had been doing, what Shoaib Akhtar had been doing. AROOJ Shah and her team refused. They wanted AROOJ Shah's picture and refused to deviate from the official party position because it would make Keir Starmer look weak, it would make Jim McMahon look weak. So how can you stand as a councillor when what you've done as a councillor isn't included in your leaflets? Naila Ibrahim spoke to Shoaib Akhtar. Our team spoke to each other. And 10-4. Wearmouth does not have an official Labour Party candidate. Conspiracy theory, dark corners of the internet. What's dark about this corner? It's the most well lit corner in my flat. I think I've done well tonight. I've got nice, sorry, I'm out of candles by the way, but I've got nice lighting. My books look faded in the background suitably. I'm not hiding behind a fake profile. My name's just popped up at the bottom. So AROOJ SHAH is now toast in Werneth. But things get worse for AROOJ SHAH. AROOJ! Sorry, I need to quieten down my daughter's fair. I'd like to say she's fast asleep, but there's no way she's fast asleep. She'll be no doubt on the iPad, making the most of the fact that I'm on here. Okay, it gets worse for Labour. It genuinely gets worse for Labour, but they're down to 31. 2 councillors down in Werneth, regardless of what happens in May. Labour will only have 1 out of 3 councillors. And that's Fida Hussein, who we'll get rid of in 2 years' time. If you're finding value, the 145 of you who are on are finding value. I do enjoy the free-to-air transmissions. I thought I'd put one out because it was Eid. I do enjoy, even though my subscriptions are going down, I do enjoy the free-to-air transmissions. So, if you find value, please like, please share. I know some of you have clicked on the super chat. There's a button somewhere on your screen if you feel that way inclined, or click on the buy me a coffee link and maybe support me by buying me a samosa. Thank you, Louise. Louise has just bought me 10 samosas. Thank you very, very much. The Lioness of Glodick has now been relegated to Desperate Moggy. Please like, please share. I'm not carrying on until I get a few more likes at the very least. There's 46 likes on there. There's over 100 and close to 150 of you watching. I'll carry on in a moment. Whilst I read some of my messages. I miss my mate Oldham. He began this journey with me a long time ago. Best part of 5 years ago, wasn't it, mate? You began this journey, and I remember who is Oldham and all these people trying to go after him and saying he's such a buddy, such a buddy, such a buddy else. No. You used to eat in the same chip shop, didn't we, on Ferrisall Road, mate? Lifetime ago. Absolute lifetime ago. Okay, brilliant. We've got to 50 likes. That's what it takes. The focus of this campaign. Thank you, Lynn, for enjoying this. Lynn's bought me 2 super chats. Thank you, Lynn. The focus of our opposition coordinated campaign, apart from the idiots who want to talk about potholes, thank you, Jack. Thank you very, very much. I know Jack isn't the. I don't mean it disrespectfully, Jack. You know, you don't earn that much, Jack. So $1.99 from you means everything to me, mate. So thank you very, very much. Is that what it was called? Wonks. It was brilliant. The chip shop on Ferrisall Road. Yeah, me and Oldham, I used to have chips and peas. 15 pence I used to pay, Tony. Chips and peas. And a fish once maybe a month or so would be the extent of my fish and chips and peas. Right. It gets worse for AROOJ SHAH. Our campaign in Oldham to defeat AROOJ SHAH across the board, to defeat the Labour Party, is to target AROOJ SHAH because of her gangster affiliated links, because of everything she is and how she's despised. So as well as the CSE, we're targeting AROOJ SHAH. Has it worked? Has it worked? Here is the official Royton Rose leaflet. Labour Rose leaflet for Royton. This is the chutney jam. Is that to make yourself not racist because you can have chutney and jam? So how can you? This is the official Labour Party leaflet. Going through the doors of Royton North. Or Royton South, I don't know. But it's Bashforth. Bashforth wants to get re-elected. Yeah, Maria Bashforth. And they're going on about the Royton Town Hall. Which isn't them, by the way, restoring it. It's you and I restoring it with our money, not them. And it's behind schedule already and all of that. So they're trying to claim credit. But that's not what I want to show you. You can see them pointing at potholes, which is what they do. Here is Bashforth pointing at a pothole. The Royton Independents can point at a pothole. So can I. Yes. Before and after back alleys. Your Royton South Labour team has included Jim McMahon and Andy Burnham. Andy Burnham's probably never been in Royton South. Apart from last year when we chased him out. Remember when we chased him out? He'd come to rescue Amanda Chadderton. And a couple of more mature ladies. I got in trouble for saying elderly. More mature ladies chased Andy Burnham out. This is the official leaflet. Thank you, Tracy. Thank you very, very much. And there's some in the inside. A Royton Town Hall and the historic stuff. Yeah, lovely. Bashforth. Why have you blurred out this photograph? Because I've seen this photograph, bright and clear. Why is that photograph blurred out? This photograph is blurred out, I believe, because it's got AROOJ SHAH in it. Even the Labour Party councillors and candidates now want to distance themselves from AROOJ SHAH. Come on, Bashforth. Go around Royton South with AROOJ SHAH. I dare you. Go around Royton South with AROOJ SHAH. Come on, Elaine Taylor. Go around Chadderton Central. Eddie Moores. Go around Chadderton North with AROOJ SHAH. I dare you. Go around with your Labour Party leader, AROOJ SHAH. They're now blurring her photograph on their own official documents. They're blurring the council leaders' photographs on their own publicity materials. Sorry. You've joined us if you see why I'm laughing my head off. It's because the Labour Party are now hiding their associations with AROOJ SHAH. I think AROOJ SHAH should go out in Waterhead. Come on, Ross Birch. Take AROOJ SHAH out with you in Waterhead. Holly Harrison. Take AROOJ SHAH out with you in Chadderton South. They're hiding their associations with AROOJ SHAH. So much so that her picture is blurred out. So be honest, if you live in Royton South, you'll get one of these leaflets for your letterbox. And I'm telling you, I have seen that photograph crystal crisp and clear. Moggy. A desperate Moggy. And this leaflet, by the way, is a joke. But I'm not getting involved in Royton South. Actually, if I was going to get involved in Royton South, I'll get to that later. Well, that's what AROOJ SHAH is now. Blurred out. Blurred out. Here she is in Royton North, desperate. And in Royton North, she's going because she wants to get rid of Lewis Quigg. So this is the team in Royton North. Jim McMahon. Jim McMahon. Tell me the place, McMahon. My brother Jamal. Why not in coal dust? Normally you'd be nibbling the samosas, marching into the mosques, hanging out with the hoodlums. Why are you not in coal dust? Why are you not in Medlock? Where were you in Werneth? Well, actually, you've not got a candidate in Werneth, have you? Come on, my brother Jamal. Because I have a team ready and waiting for you in any of these areas. Turn up, McMahon. And we will be there. With the samosas. McMahon. And this big team, by the way, are in the main all councillors or candidates for council. So don't worry yourself. And look who's next to AROOJ SHAH. My mate Aftad. That's Elaine Taylor behind. You can see the Labour team. That's Josh Charters somewhere. Connor Green. And they're all helping out Clint Piffian. Because they want to get rid of Lewis Quigg. That's their target. Yeah, indeed. I agree, Louise. We'd share, by the way. 3 of us would share one chips and peas. So that'd be 3 of us sharing that. What's wrong with my accent? Do you know why I practice my accent, Gary? I had to develop it working in the restaurants and the takeaways for the drunken customers. So I've never really had it tested in an authentic environment. I've had it tested in restaurants at 2 in the morning. So that's as good as it gets. So these guys are out in Chadderton North. Their target is Lewis Quigg. They're hoping that they can use their national stuff to target Lewis Quigg and get rid of Lewis. Lewis, as we know, is front and centre. Head and shoulders above anyone else in taking the fight to AROOJ SHAH and standing up for all of us. And he's a Conservative. And I've had my issues with Lewis. All credit to him. He's been the standout councillor over the last 12 months. This is our response. We crowdfunded it. There were some typos that Lynn found for me. Spoke to me earlier on today. Whilst I was actually nibbling on samosas, Lynn, when you phoned me. And I got the laptop out and I fixed the typos. They'll go to print tomorrow. And they'll be ready next week. We need your help. We need to deliver these right across Royton North. That's the front page. That's the back page. And the question we're asking people is, ask Clint Piffian if he still believes securing justice for grooming gang victims is a waste of money. Because that was one of his last speeches in the council chamber. He believed it was a waste of money. And that QR code there takes you to the video clip of Clint Piffian. And you can see we're also letting everyone know that Piffian is AROOJ SHAH's man. And we'll get these leaflets out. We'll knock on the doors. It makes a massive difference when ordinary people like you and me knock on doors as campaigners, because we're not political. We're not, saying vote for someone else. We're saying don't vote for this little runt. Because that's what you are, Piffian, a runt. securing justice for children in our town who are gang raped is not and never will be a waste of money. Seven times they've blocked it so far. And there's a bit I want to read to you. Damning leak so far confirmed that between 2006 to 2020, so I've got no figures beyond 2020, Oldham Social Services had referrals warning 700 children faced risk of sex abuse. That's what they knew of. That's what they knew of. One victim was targeted at 10. Are you hearing me? It's a waste of money securing justice, according to Clint Piffian. One victim was targeted at 10. My daughter's fast asleep now in a room 10 yards away from me. She's 9 years old. One victim was targeted at 10. And another was raped by more than 300 men from the age of 12. 300 men more than from the age of 12. Since 2014, Greater Manchester Police has identified 318 offenders in Oldham. The ethnicities of the victim and perpetrators remain hidden, and from what I can put together, because it's all hidden, the convictions are, a handful. And this prick believes securing justice for grooming gang victims is a waste of money. So I think the people of Royton North need to know all about this. This has only been possible. I put an optimistic £3,000 target. We've got to £1,000 comfortably. There's other leaflets going out for other people as well. But we've got to £1,000 comfortably. And I'm thinking this one, A3. I don't want it A4, I want it huge. A3. So that's what we're going to be doing. And some comedy. You've seen it. I spoke to the Daily Mail reporter, Mark Hookham is called, last week. Put him in touch with some people I knew who'd be able to give them some more information. But they've called her out. They've called her out. Angela Rayner has been lying over house tax row. They've called her out as a liar. Now she's either got to sue him or try and ignore him. But either way, we used the term, I got in trouble. No, we were reported, weren't we, for using the term dead man walking or dead woman walking. We don't mean kill them. We mean in terms of the political role. She's not going to survive this, and they're not going to let go. If we're to believe her, she lived in one house after getting married, whilst her husband and her children lived in another house, along with her cats. And they've gone through her social media account and found photographs of her at the other house. And the neighbours have all said she lived somewhere else, so she didn't live here. And the police, Greater Manchester Police, Andy Burnham's bent, politically infiltrated Greater Manchester Police, are trying desperately to protect her. There was a Liberal Democrat minister who lost his job because he lied about speeding points. And the mainstream newspapers went after him. And they wouldn't stop because they had the evidence. And I believe it'd be the same here. And you know what? It serves her right. It serves her right. Okay. How are we doing for time? Just under an hour. Oh, she won't resign. They'll have to charge her. Or it'll get more and more heated as the election draws nearer. Sheila, where you been? You've missed entertainment, I think. Chris Huni, it was indeed, Tony, thank you. Okay, you ready for some serious stuff? If you're finding value in the transmission, sorry, I'm looking this way because that's where my computer is. And if you're finding value in the transmission, please like, please share. There's 181 of you with me this evening. So it's the most in a while. If you're finding value, please like, please share. And please consider buying me a coffee, or there's a super chat link there that you can also use. I don't think this is going away, Jack. I don't think this is going to go away. Okay. So here you go. I'll do it like this. So Labour are on 31 councillors, right? Let's see what we think is going to happen in Alexander. I'll just work my way through this list. Yeah, you can see that hopefully. The Labour candidate is Ghazala Rana. She does the rounds, tries to get in everywhere. She's not going to win. Remember? The previous Labour councillors resigned, retired. And the person who's going to win here, I think Ann Taylor's been put up by Northern Heart. Sheila's here. Sponsor proposed her. If you guys need any help, give me a shout. I don't know who Carol Hardy is, but I think it's interesting. That's Shahjan Chowdhury and Astan Shah. A couple of Asian lads have put that up, so I want to see how that plays out. The Lib Dems have put someone up. The Conservative Party have put Mohammed Nazrul Chowdhury up. The Green Party have done very well. They've got a range of candidates across the board. A woman called Miranda Meadowcroft, an old friend of mine actually, Miranda, is heading them up. She's standing in Royton North actually. But they've put together a decent team, decent package. But I think Zahir Ali is the guy who's going to take that. So Labour will lose one. Okay. And that's in Alexander. Chadderton Central. Malik Rahman, Liberal Democrats. He did very well, Malik. He's the guy from the tyres place. He did very well in Werneth last time. I don't think he's got the traction in Chadderton Central, but he's a good man. Peter Brown we put up. Daniel Clayton from the Green Party again, you can see. Mohammed Razan, decent lad, been helping him with his stuff, got 800 votes last time. Lisa Roddy, independent lad, she was Workers' Party in Chadderton South, I think, last time, so she's of the left, I think. Elaine Taylor and Rob Vance. Elaine Taylor, of course, is the favourite. And there's this guy called Shahjan Irfat Ahmed, who's been put up by the Oldham Group. Now, I think what will happen there is the Oldham Group, because Shahjan is a Bangladeshi and Mohammed Razan is a Bangladeshi, the Oldham Group will have split the vote there. And Elaine Taylor will win. I think Peter Brown will do whatever he can to take votes off Elaine, as with Rob Vance as well, even Lisa Roddy. But I think in the end, because Cameron Gaffar and his team have put up a candidate in Chadderton Central, even though they knew what was going on, the consequence will be a Labour win there. So they'll hold that. I think, sadly. We'll try our best, but I think, sadly, they'll hold that. And that's as a direct consequence of the Oldham Group. Chadderton North. Eddie Moores. Dominic Cadman from the Lib Dems. Maudud Ahmed, who stood last time as a Conservative there, got just under 1,000 votes. There's 200 votes in it. And Maudud was hoping to increase his reach. Again, the Oldham Group has put up a candidate, Mohammed Shah Alam. They knew full well what they were doing. They'll split the vote. There's 300 or 400 South Asian, Bangladeshi, Pakistani, Indian voters there, who Maudud was hoping to convince on top of his core vote of the Conservatives. The Oldham Group, Cameron Gaffar and his team have done that on purpose again. And I think Eddie Moores will win there as well. Chadderton South. Muhammad Ali from the Oldham Group is there. You can see what the Oldham Group are trying to do. They're trying to spread across Chadderton, and I'll explain to you why that is, and we'll go into it maybe later today or another time. Carl Bardsley lives in Chadderton South. Andy Clare from Reform. Unfortunately, Reform have put up a candidate now. There's Holly Harrison, of course, who's the sitting councillor, and Michael Scholes, who'd get nowhere. So Reform have gone in, someone put them up to it, and Reform will take votes away from Carl Bardsley. And the likelihood is Holly Harrison will win there. Now I have my suspicions as to who put Reform up, because they're in 2 wards. In Coldhurst, Montaz has switched from Conservative to Independent. The Conservatives have a paper candidate in Mohammed Azizur Rahman. Dara, he's called. The Green Party put a candidate there. There's a strange independent lad who understands, gets 100 votes or so. He's independent in his own right. Mushtaq, he owns a local shop there. I think he just likes to, likes the attention. Rachel Pendlebury from the Lib Dems. The Lib Dems have put a paper candidate there on purpose to try and make sure Montaz picks up their votes. And the sitting councillor there is AROOJ Shah. He's late switching sides. But Azad should win that. So of the 3 we put in black so far, they're just holding. They're not new. They're not wins, are they? They're just holding. Yeah. In Crompton, I'm not going to bother with here. But I think Diane Williamson will win that. Hints and his team are clueless. He's not going to win that. If he does, it'll surprise me. In Fellsworth East, where the sitting councillor is Lucia Ray, Wilkinson and his idiots, the arrogance. Sandra Ball, you can see proposing. She's the proposer. I've put up Catherine Charnock. We tried our best to get them to negotiate. They won't do. Catherine Charnock will not get 1,000 votes and win from nothing. Lucia Ray is a good local councillor. She won't lose 1,000 votes to Catherine Charnock. What she will do is lose enough votes where this guy called Ken Rustage, who's not even from Oldham, who's been proposed by David Hayes, who was the former MP, and Judith Hayes. So this is Labour Party establishment. They're looking to bring Ken Rustage in, and if this Ken Rustage gets in, I would imagine they'll be looking to make him a leader or make him something prominent, because that's how the Hayeses operate. So this is my first Labour Party gain. I'll put it in green. Failsworth West. The Failsworth Independent Party, Brian Hoban, Andrea Hoban. And they tried to negotiate before they did this. I'm a witness to that. They tried to negotiate before they did this. But because of what the Wilkinsons have done in the East, they've put up Jane Casanelli again in the West. You can see Mark Wilkinson at the bottom. Someone got in touch with me earlier on this week and said, Raj, I live in the West. Who would you vote for? I said, listen. Of the two independent candidates, the one who got the most last time was Mark Wilkinson. Jane got less than Mark. Of the organised political party, it's the Failsworth Independents. I have no issue with Mark Wilkinson, despite the way he's behaved. Are you still part of the independent group, Mark? You're not, are you? You've left TIG, haven't you? You guys have left TIG. Do you not think people should be told that you've left TIG? Are you still with them? Either way, I don't think either of them will get in. I think Kyle Piffian will win. But that's a Labour hold, because Kyle Piffian is standing because Fryer's stepping down. So really 2 seats in Failsworth Labour should have lost, if it wasn't for the pissing contest. I know my friends who are supporting Mark Wilkinson think they've got running a great campaign and they'll win. I hope you do. Same with Brian Hoban. Particularly in the East, I hope you do. I would rather Mark Wilkinson win in the West, Brian Hoban, Lucia win in the East, and then people who know better slap the shit out of the pair of them and get them to see sense and put an end to this feud. Because it does the people of Failsworth no good. Never mind the town. It does the people of Failsworth no good. And I've criticised Brian Hoban relentlessly. I took the mick out of him for the Samosa Awards West Council of the Year and all of that. But on this, he has tried to make amends. I criticised him last year when I thought he did wrong. I'll do right for him this year when he's tried to do right. This mess this year is the making of the Wilkinsons. Hollingwood. Cartel Wars. Again, the Greens have put a candidate there. I like them. I like what they're doing. They're trying to give people an alternative. Be interesting to see how many votes they get. See, John Lawrence is there with his National Housing Party. Ian Whitehead is there. I think he's the father, he's a vicar or something, isn't he? From the Proud of Oldham lot. It comes up as independent here. So maybe they've not gone under the banner of Proud of Oldham and just under the banner of independent. Nassim Aslam is a doctor, Dr. Aslam. And Mohammed Irfan, the sitting councillor, is the fight. I think the postal votes will win that, personally. If I wanted to be optimistic, and let's be optimistic, I'd say Irfan would hold that. Okay. I need another colour for hold. That's not what I wanted to do, sorry. Let's do that. Just give me 1 second. Medlock Vale. It's going to be tight. Again, the Oldham Group have put up a candidate. Shamas Altaf, I met the lad. Like him. And he's up against Umar Nassim from the Labour Party. I think it's going to be close. But I think Labour will lose that. Royton North. Lewis is holding that. We'll do our best. You can see Miranda stood there. She lives in Royton now. Good on her. If she knocks on your door, do give her a time of day. I think in a future Oldham, the Green Party has a role to play, particularly in mopping up a lot of those independent type of supporters, because the independents have failed us, betrayed us. And Miranda's a good woman. In the south, Basford's not a very popular councillor, is he? So if Jade Hughes can't beat him now, the Royton Independents will never beat anyone. I have no animosity towards Jade. I hope she wins. I don't think she will though. I don't think they've done enough. No matter what, Labour has a base vote. No matter what, Labour has a base vote. So I think they're holding that. Again, a Green candidate there, DC. Jim Stidworthy. Done very well to pull a team of candidates together. Saddleworth North. Labour aren't winning that. Hannah Roberts ain't winning that. Although I see, Garth Harkness is going to hold that. Christopher Marshall, that's one of the proud of guys. Good luck to him. Paul Eric's made a comeback. I know he's not been well, but he's standing in Saddleworth South. Even the Green Party's got a candidate there. The existing councillor is Max Woodvan. I think Max will come through the middle there. Labour ain't going to win that, so don't worry about that. Saddleworth Western Lees. Dave Barter's got no chance. Mark Kenyon will smash that. Paul Shilton also has no chance. Shaw. Hazel Gloucester. I'm actually telling people who are asking me, vote for Hazel Gloucester for one reason and one reason alone. It's got nothing to do with my disliking of Mark Mintz. It's to do with the fact that Hazel Gloucester stood up and walked out of that council meeting. She was the first person and the only person to have stood up and walked out of a council meeting for the right reason, and for that courageous act, I'm asking people to vote for Hazel Gloucester if you live in Shaw. Actually, no, Yahya Qureshi, decent lad, but there's no traction for the Conservatives in Shaw. St James. I think McManus can take Charters out. I don't think Charters is a popular candidate at all. I think McManus will take him. St Mary's. Akil Salamat will be took out. The Pakistani guys, the Oldham Group are stronger. Isa Kausa will win there. She'll take out Akil Salamat. Waterhead. It's between Naveed Chauhan and Ross Birch. I'm not sure Naveed's done enough. Paul Taylor standing there. I hope he does well, like Paul. Reform are also standing there, do you see? I think Reform will take votes there off Ross Birch rather than the Conservatives. But I think Ross Birch will win there. And coming to Werneth, it's a Labour loss because there's not a single Labour name on the ticket, on the polling, sorry. There's not a single Labour name on that. So Labour gain 1. And they lose. Let me do it properly. Sorry, let me do it properly. Labour gain 1. Because in Failsworth, where they come through the middle in Failsworth East. But they lose, I reckon they'll lose 6. That's Alexander. Coldest. Vale. St James. St Mary's. And of course, Werneth. When they started, they had 47. They'll be down to 26. They'll have lost control. And the Failsworth guy is being brought in by, I'm going to bring his name up again, just so you see it. Ken Rustage is being brought in by David Hayes to look towards taking over the Labour Party in Oldham. They would have lost more seats if it hadn't been for the Oldham Group doing what they've done. And that, as they say, is a story for another day. For those of you who've contacted me, not you here who are chatting to me, but those of you who are listening in who've contacted me asking me to step down as a candidate in the forthcoming general election, you have no right to ask that of me. I announced my candidacy dressed in prison clothes after I had been yet again falsely arrested by Greater Manchester Police. I've been at this for 5 years. And at no point have I ever wanted to be a politician, nor do I still want to be a politician. I am in this position because I have been forced into this position, and because the people of the town, people who support me, want me to stand and represent them. I don't play cartel politics. I'm not interested in postal vote fraud. Win or lose, my name will be on the ballot paper. More on that next time. $220 of you, 62 likes, 1 not like. If you find value in my work, please consider taking out a subscription to the webpage, redwallsandarabble.co.uk. 75 pence a week is how I make sure I can pay my mortgage and keep my lights on and feed myself and stuff like that. None of this is easy. Those of you can, please get in touch with Gary about leafleting, helping us leaflet. We need to leaflet in Royton North. We also need to leaflet in Chadderton Central, where Peter Brown's standing. Why do you think, Jack? All will be revealed next week, Jack. Why do you think? Thank you very, very much. Take value, like, share, buy me a coffee, help me keep my lights on. And I will see you all very soon. I'm hoping next Sunday night and we're back to our normal Sunday night transmissions. I prefer the Sunday night transmissions, if I'm honest. It gives me time to prep during the day. And I think you enjoy the evening transmissions as well. Thank you for joining me. My name is Raj Amir. A very, very good evening.
Do not fear them. Do not fear any of them. On the 20th of November 2003, James Ignatius O'Rourke McMahon was elected councillor for the Failsworth East Ward of Oldham. Deeply ambitious, he ruthlessly rose to power, and by 2011, he was already leader of the council. In 2015, exploiting a Labour Party loophole, he became MP for Oldham West and Royton. If only the people of the town knew then what they now know. Do not fear them. Do not fear any of them.